Canadien, le Canadien. C'est dans notre sang, dans notre cœur, notre tradition, notre honneur. Le Canadien, c'est tout, c'est une partie de nous. Bleu, blanc, rouge. Le Canadien, c'est une partie de nous.
Ah, les Canadiens, les habitants, les glorieux, la Sainte Flanelle, le tricolore. What a game! What a game! What a game! Then I said, what a game? Playoff game last night at the Bell Center. You got everything. Hopefully you enjoyed the game last night and ready to talk about your tricolore, les Canadiens de Montréal, ce soir pour une autre émission de Hockey Nation. Thanks to be with us on a great Wednesday. You can feel it. You can see it. You can maybe not smell it, but I'm right now on fire, ladies and gentlemen. Be ready because I'm going to talk about the Montreal Canadiens, and I'm the only one believe they're going to make the playoff. But at the end of the day, it's about how the Montreal Canadiens all become. Tonight, I think we have to celebrate this. I have no doubt on my mind. We need to talk about the historic night last night to see Caufield hit the 40 goal last night for the Montreal Canadiens. The first one to accomplish this in the last 31 years and 11 months and 7 days and 17 hours and 26 seconds. That's give you an idea when Vincent Damphousse did it for the Montreal Canadiens. And we're going to talk about the great night of the Montreal Canadiens and what's going on around the NHL and what is coming for the next 15 games for the Montreal Canadiens. And a show without him is impossible. It's not the same, by the way. Yes, I can do it alone, but it's better when we have the gold, the legend. And I'm talking about Mr. Inartap is in the house tonight.
Hello, Coach. Hello, Hockey Nation. What a night, Coach. What a night. We
What a
were
night.
biting
This is the word.
We were
What a
biting
night.
our nails all night.
It was an
We
amazing,
got two
great
big
night
points.
about the Montreal Canadiens last night on many ways. You know, sometimes you write, you want to end of the game with an Hollywood story, and it could not be better to get a 40 goal like that at the overtime and a great play. And we have a lot of things to talk about what happened during the game, and people think only about the 40 goal, but you have a lot of things happening during that game. And it was a full, complete world team working hard from all the 20 players last night. And we have to give credit for Martin Saint-Louis behind the bench and everybody to get the W last night. And the beauty of that, not the beauty, but the good things about that is everybody won last night at that classic division, everything. So they could not waste 2 points on the board. They did it. But the mission is not over yet. They have 50 more games to go. But again, I remember last week, the middle of the week last week, I don't know when. I can understand people so negative or some people just to be like that. It's okay. It's not bothering me at all. And I respect all of them, honestly. But what is bothering me or is just like, come on. If someone said they're not going to make the playoff, it's not bothering me at all. It's not changed my life a lot, like I said, you know. But what is bothering me is when they said this team is not entertaining. And this is the only thing, I will be honest with you, because you've been there, and everyone in the chat watched the Montreal Canadiens for years. We never have a team like that. I think in the middle of the 90s with Damphousse, Turgeon, Ricky, and Chelios. You know what I mean? Like, we never had those kind of team like that for a long, long time. And when we don't appreciate what they do, this was bothering me. You know, I understand winning, losing. I don't know if I'm getting old, Mr. Natap. I think I am, anyway, but...
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah, but... And I repeat this, is that's bother people. I understand that when I said I don't care if they win or lose. It's not like I don't care. It's just not affect me like it was before because I'm entertaining by the performance. Like they lose 7-5 against San Jose, but it was a fun game. They come back with 3 goals. They score, and that's all about at the end of the day. To get entertaining, and most of the game is on top. I'll be honest with you. It's rare Montreal Canadiens now they losing 7-1 or 7-2 or 6-1 or it will happen during the season, maybe 1-2 game, 3 game possible. But compared like the last 3 years, it was miserable, Mr. Tap. We got beat how many times by 6, 7, 8 goals? We cannot score 2 goals per game. It was terrible. But now it's fun. It's just the beginning. That's by the way. It's just the beginning to get entertaining. So it's just this. Nothing again. The person said that. It's just like for me, if this is not entertaining, I don't know what you need. Like what it would be entertaining you. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, definitely, Coach. I mean, the quality of hockey that they're putting out there now, you're starting to see the fruits of what they've invested over the last few years in the rebuild. And I think not to defend some of the comments, but to sort of maybe explain it. I think the fans have been very patient over the fact that they made it very open to everybody that there was going to be a rebuild, and you know that in going through that, you're going to go through some lean years, and they did. Even though we obviously followed them and wanted the best for them, we knew that making the playoffs would be difficult. And last year they surprised us. I think I'm safe in saying that. We didn't expect them to make the playoffs last year, but they did. And this year, same type of situation. And so what happens is you get accustomed to wanting a little bit more, and then we want to win a series in the playoffs, and then we want to win a couple, and we want to be going to the Stanley Cup Finals. But to quote an old saying, that the Stanley Cup is the hardest trophy to win in all of sports, and
yeah,
we
you're
may
absolutely right
we may
about
not
that. You're
we
absolutely
may
right about
never
that.
get there, Coach. We may never get there, but the journey, I think, will be exciting, and I think that the quality of hockey that they'll put forth is going to be amazing. We're going to see some excellent young talent come to the forefront, and there's still lots in store in terms of what management might do for the team. The only thing I would say, and at the trade deadline, and this was my whole point as well. Yes, it's not a time to go crazy in terms of trying to acquire players, because usually in acquiring and paying up the ransom that is required to get a hole that you want to fill is quite steep. And sometimes it doesn't work out. As a matter of fact, many times it doesn't work out for teams. However, they knew that, and by they I mean Hughes, they knew that the East was wide open this year. And if there's an opportunity to make a move, then let's address something small that will strengthen the team. And that I thought would be to get, a second pairing or even a third pairing defenseman, right-handed, who can play physical style, can clear the puck in front of net, and add a little bit of grit, especially come playoff time. They didn't do that, and it's not that I was mad about it, but I was a bit disappointed. I thought that that it wouldn't have been a high price tag to pay, but we don't know what's going on behind closed doors when the trade deadline's around. Like they may have had something in place and then it just fell apart at the end. That I don't know, but it's hard to see them now have to struggle because it looks like they don't have a lot of trust in some of their defenders, and so the top defensemen are going to have to put in more time.
Two things to let you know. That two things to said to you is I'm sure Ken Hughes he did not sit and wait and just let go, right? So he tried.
Yeah,
He tried. How try I don't know, but I'm sure Ken Hughes he was active on the phone. Secondly, I think they have a plan. The Montreal Canadiens, we know they have a plan, and they stick with the plan. they don't get bothered by what the people thinking or what they said. You know what I mean? Like they believe what their staff telling them, and they go with what they think is the best for the team. To answer to your question, I said he was busy, he was active, he tried, but the price tag, it was too high. And for them to pay something too high for only maybe a one playoff run, a worst case maybe a second run, or maybe you're never going to know that. For them, it was more advantage to not give anything in return. They don't pay that price. Could be a first round pick, or it could be a Zabrowski. I just give you something big. It's not like Owen Beck or Sean Farrell. I'm talking they want to get that players, but the tag was too high. Secondly, I would say to you, for them, say, you know what? Okay, better to let play what we have in the crew on the roster, give more experience to Hutson and everybody else, and to learn from that experience coming the end of the season, the meaningful game, maybe the playoff round one, and go from there. And I think this is what I believe happening. So for me, this is what I don't want Montreal to get a Luke Shine example.
Yeah, I agree.
I prefer to let play a young defenseman we have on the ice. You be honest with you, you know how I don't like Jacky. Well, not that I don't like Jacky, but how I don't trust the quality of Jacky play, right? I would prefer to use trouble Jacky at the end of the day to bring Luke Shine because he's a right defenseman. This is my point behind that. I would prefer the player let play Bodzuk to get Blake Coleman just because of one end of 5, 6, 7, 25 game, everything like that. Because the tag was too high. That's my point behind that. Otherwise, I think Montreal did the right things, and now it's not because they won yesterday, everything is perfect. It's far to be perfect. But I think this year it's great to see the development of the player. That's what I bring every game. I explain. I don't really, honestly, I'd be disappointed, right? And Montreal does not make the playoff at the end of the year. I would be, geez, why, right? But they have so many parity in NHL. The extra point change the standing. I'm going to talk about this tonight with you.
Yeah.
All right. And then if we develop during the year, we get better individual players. And I think 80%, 90% of everything is getting better and better at what we have. I think this is our qualified a successful year. Disappointed because we get 97 points. I'm going to repeat, guys. You can miss the playoff right now with 96, 97 points. But you tell me, yeah, but it was a bad year. We don't make the playoff. I disagree. Because we get 96, right. 97 points. A disappointment season for me, it'd be 83 points. 84 point example. Like we regress. And then and hockey injuries make a big impact. Look what's happening to the Florida Panthers this year. This is a good team, but they lose the key players, and you cannot do anything about that. And it's rare a team losing player like them, like they did, they're going to consistently win. So at the end of the day, that's what I see. That what I don't matter. They don't make the playoff for me. And just like I make a joke, but I think that my telescope is different. My view is different for many fans, and that's okay. But for me, I see that, I watched the game Ottawa and Washington. Washington just scored a goal, and then Ottawa shoot the puck from about 40 feet, and the puck go through the legs of Thompson like
oh boy,
nothing, like just a bad shot, but the puck rolled and he hit the post and go out. You never go in.
Okay.
But it's funny, like Thompson, he thought he have it, and then you realize you don't have it, and then you see the puck hit the post. Anyway, sorry. But so that's what I'm thinking about this. Nothing big, nothing huge. But before we start this on the top, I want to welcome people. They are the chat. Without
Let's
them,
do
would be
it.
impossible. Susanna is in the house. Welcome back, Susanna. RJ Carabo is in the house. Welcome. Susanna from Japan, ladies and gentlemen. Big fans of the baseball. We met Susanna and many of them at the WBC last week, and now she followed the hockey with us. That's great to see that. Runway Kings moderator with RJ Carabo, the news and update. Gary Cornoyer, Gary busy with the UPS, but you always find a way to stop by to say hi to everybody. I appreciate that. Billy D from Nova Scotia. Billy is smiling, Mr. Tap. Not big smile.
Let's get in the bar ready.
But he's smiling because now he's at the half of the week. So for him, every day it's a new day, but it's closer to the weekend. So he's like, he's really a roller coaster, Mr. Tap. Like the Sunday night, he's down. And then the Monday is this down. And then Tuesday can get it better. Then the Wednesday get more and more. And then he hit the Friday, he's at the top. And now he stay there for 2 days. And then he come back down again. And that's
okay.
Right. But he have a big price. He's almost at I think a couple of years, then he get retired. So that's a great way about that. Talking about retirement on tap, the man is retired for a couple of years now. He sit at Mont Laurier and on the balcony outside. Luc Lafortune is with us, Mr.
Luc.
Luc is watching Laval. By the way, Laval was winning 3-0 after 2 periods. I don't know the score anymore. I'm watching Ottawa. GF is in the house with Roger Bouchard, notre ami GF, Mr.
Welcome.
Update. GF watched a lot of game, by the way. Busy watching game. And then we have Larry Lavallée from Grain Valley is in the house. Larry was with us at the baseball game last night. Larry. Nothing wrong with making an extra playoff round, Luc Lafortune. Nothing wrong with that part over there. Of course, it's like you put some onions on your hot dog is an extra. Compare with your mustard and your relish about that.
Tastes so much
like
better.
This, like
Luc is a good guy.
Luc is like this. Like when you go to the buffet, he don't want to eat. He want to do dessert. Like he want to get the dessert right away. Mr. It's like the fans. The fans want to go to Stanley Cup right away. So Luc is like he passed everybody. And
he doesn't want
the
salad.
The reverse. He go for the dessert and then he come back. He finish with an appetizer, Mr. Tap. So look, that's the way he eats. Gary C from Winnipeg is in the house. Welcome back. Vivre libre. He's in the house tonight. And welcome back. Thanks to be with us. I still get mad when they lose goals, but I don't lose sleep over it anymore. Yeah, that's the way to see that. My friend PLW looking here. Hopefully you don't want PLW. And you have a great day. The PL said, baseball is over, WBC. What a great tournament, by the way, and the WBC.
Amazing.
But PL, baseball's coming, MLB at the end of the month, approximately 8 days, I believe, or 9 days. We're going to do the first game of the Blue Jays live at Friday, March 27. Be ready on that one. GF, Viv, if they were going to Matt Nice, what offer would make the deal? Matt Nice, you're going to get at least a Ken Cooley, a first one pick, Michael Edge, Zarowski. No, I'm just all together, but that's
okay.
That's the kind of you know what I mean. Like you're going to get a Ken Cooley inside of that. That's no doubt in my mind. They're going to get a defenseman for sure, and to get that. Maybe you're laughing at me, but you can get Ken Cooley, a first one pick. It could be that. That's the way to do that if you're looking for that one over there. But what didn't happen about that. Tony is in the house tonight. Tony, I'm going to the basketball game, I believe. The STFU. I think that's University or something. And then Ron is in the team also. Maurice Robillard. Maurice is de retour. Talking about Maurice, I did not see him the last couple of days. I don't know what's going on with Maurice. I almost called him, by the way. I said, we not see Maurice. Reggie is busy also. So 2 men don't want what's going on with them. But glad to see Maurice back in the house. Hopefully, don't want Standerman is with us tonight, Mr. Tap. And Nicky go to bed, Mr. Tap. I don't know. He has like a monitor. And when he passed his best time, he said, no, forget the game. I'm going to bed. You need to go to bed.
doesn't
And
matter.
he wake up this morning, he see the score, and then he texts me, he said, Montreal won last night. Yeah, they won. And then they don't have pools. Maurice, I agree with you about that one. Vive le vive, vive le vive, vive le libre. Et de retour, Nicolas de Goubi-Bonneau back in the house. RJ Gabo with all the comments. I go reverse, Mr. That's Standerman. We talk about him. Nicky Eminem back in the house from British Columbia. Notre ami Eminem. Susanna busy in the chat with Tony Garrett. See Nicky Roger. Claude Richard de retour avec nous. Mr. Tap, PLW go with Siniki tonight. Good luck about this.
Good one.
You know,
like that.
PLW make a lot of money
like
with
that.
the baseball, Mr. Tap. And his team, Venezuela, win tonight, by the way. So I'm very happy about that. A lot of comments at the top of this show. Going to go back at the bottom. Going to see what happening there. Yep, you say la vie, Nikki. All good. No problem with that part over there. And a question for Ron. Since Martin took over as coach, how many new players have come under him? Stay.
Almost all of them, I think. I can't remember any that were traded. I mean, we had Harris that was traded.
How many players it was stay there? But it's hard to say that because you have many players change. You know, like Pitlick, example, RHP, and everything like that. It's hard to give you an idea. But if you think about what they have right now, we have only Montembeault when you show up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pooley first year with Jacquard the first year. Strobel came back the year number 2 behind them. You know what I mean? Like, at the beginning, it's only Zuski, Caufield, Anderson, Evans, Gallagher. They was there at that time when you show up in February 22nd. Everybody else left. And then you get at the defense at that time, and Montembeault was not there. I'm talking, guys, I'm talking about February 22nd. I don't think Montembeault was there, so not many of them. But then, during the time, you had players during the summer, like Kirby Dach was coming during the summer, and then you have players coming. So it's a big question to that one. Randy, you think about 2 huge rumors left as strong taking Delvin as GM and Matthew days are numbered. Randy Walkman, welcome back in the house. Randy, busy man around the world. Matthews will never play for Toronto again. He would ask to be traded this summer on that one. In KGF, I think you're right with that part over there. On this one, could possibly. What I mean is how many players are his guy and not the coach before, and they stay on the main roster.
I think that rather than directing it at Marty St. Louis, I think it should be directed more at Kent Hughes and Gordon. How many of the players that they've selected? I mean, you knew there was going to be a turnover of players from the previous regime, Bergevin's time here. And that's been happening. Guys like Armia left, Dvorak left. A few of the players that were drafted by the previous regime are still with the team. Like guys like, well, Suzuki was through a trade, but he pretty much was a draft and never played for Vegas. Was traded to Montreal, so that's part of it. They drafted Bergevin drafted Goulet as well. And then all the players that they drafted have, I think, remained with the team with the exception of Harris when they traded him to, was it New Jersey or I forget who they traded it to, but he was one of the original ones that Harris or Gorton and Hughes traded at the time. He was, a defenseman that they thought very highly of and thought he would, develop into something bigger. But, sometimes you have to trade to get something, and that's what they did. I think wasn't he part of the Laine trade?
Which one?
Harris.
Harris was traded to the Columbus Blue Jackets for Patrick Laine and a second-round pick.
And a second round pick. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Yeah. So most of the other players, I think they're still with the organization. There isn't a lot of them that have left. So if that's what you meant, Run, I think that the retention is quite high.
I try to answer for everybody. And the chat, just give you an idea, Susanna, we don't have team tonight. We'll do a special show about the Montreal Canadiens. The game will be tomorrow night, Susanna. But you have 6 games in the nation, Mr. Top. 3 is active right now. Washington 1, Ottawa 0. Pittsburgh 2, just started the game again, the Canadian Hurricanes. Devil 3, Rangers 2. On that one. So that's happening, guys. I'll go to move on, guys. We have a lot of things to talk. I think I have a lot of questions for the fans in the chat. So first of all, I want to talk about headlines. And my headline, Mr. Top, is to live with your mistake. And French said, vivre avec tes erreurs. I'm talking about Lane Hutson. Lane Hutson have a mistake Sunday night against Anaheim Ducks, right? In the corner, Gauthier scored a goal, and he was upset about that, but that's the reality happening to him. And then after that, last night, I believe is the second goal, maybe. Boston scored a goal, or first goal, I don't remember which one. And then Hutson make another mistake, and then they score the Laval, no, it's 3-1. But anyway, my point of view, is, he made 2 big mistakes, and he was responsible about that. But this kid is framing like anybody else. Like, this kid is amazing. And you're going to get mistake by this kid, but you're going to get great things about this kid. And you have to live with that. And mistake, it's happened when you have a player like him. And he proved it yesterday, where he make a mistake on the goal. He came back stronger. He finished the night, Mr. Top, with a 2 pass, 2 assists. On the goal of Josh Anderson, he shot on the net. And then on the goal of the Caufield, he was the one that started the play on the board on the offensive side. That said, there are 2 reasons we won last night, I believe. One, it was the big breakaway stop by Tobesh. Well, maybe the guy missed the net anyway, Zaka, at the overtime. And then prior to that, we have a 2 versus 1, Mr. Top. And it was looking bad. And Hutson, he dived and intercepted the puck on the 2-1. And not only intercepted the puck, he recovered the puck when he was completely on his belly, and then reset the play right away after that. He was been on the ice during that moment, over 2 minutes on the ice.
Almost 2 minutes. Yeah.
Over 2 minutes on the ice. He complete his shift. He go to the bench. He asked to get water. And Martin said, hey, you ready? Yeah, coach, I'm ready. Go back on the ice. And then the goal happening, guys. Yeah, the rabbit energizer and live, but I don't know what kind of rabbit he is. But this guy I don't know when this happening anyway, how he's going to find his energy like he did. But this is who he is. This is the kind of players he is. And you're going to get sometimes the bad side of his game, right?
Of course.
But you're going to get a lot of great time about his good and great play by Lane Hutson, and that's the reason I do this tonight. You live with your mistake, and 69 points, 67 game right now. He's the second best defenseman with the most points, tied with Werenski. He's just behind Bouchard, and he's in front of Ken McCarr. His name, for years, is going to be stuck with the Norris nomination every year. I don't know if he's going to win it, but this kid is amazing, and he is a part of the Montreal Canadiens. If you're not entertained by who he is, I don't know what you need more, but I just want to sharing that because sometimes it's just normal. On the goal, we're going, look what happened. What happened with Tobash, or what happened with Carrier or Madison or everybody, right? That's just a normal reaction. We're looking for who make a mistake. But nothing against Lane Hutson. And he can make mistake every game. But he's going to show to you and give to you so many good things during the game. And I believe, and I'm going to repeat the same thing like I did many times for all the fans, the Montreal Canadiens get transformed when Lane Hutson started to play with Montreal last season. And when I said that, whatsoever Nexky 89 points and Caufield, everything like that, right? My point of view is this part. Is maybe not the MVP. And you can make him MVP, and I would be agree or disagree, and you can have your own opinion, and it's facts are there, and that's maybe the MVP, but it's not about MVP for me. The system of the Montreal Canadiens, Mr. Antap, the way with Lane Hutson since joining the Montreal Canadiens, it was transformed after his appearance with the Montreal Canadiens and for the benefit for the Montreal Canadiens. That's what I'm talking about. What he changed for the Montreal Canadiens is amazing. And you can see now it's just getting better and better with Demidov and, with the rest of the team. But Lane Hutson, guys, wow. This is special.
Absolutely, Coach. And you forget to mention he's also 22 years of age. So I don't think we've seen anywhere near the ceiling for him. I mean, every player obviously is going to make mistakes. There's no doubt about it. But you have to look at it from the point of view of Hutson. And I think somebody put it appropriately, Coach, the other day. They said, this guy has 3 lungs. Like he's constantly on the ice, never seems to be tired. He's now number 2 on the team in scoring with 69 points. On top of that, he's a plus 27. So even though some mistakes are made, you could tell just by the plus minus alone that his contributions on the positive side have been far outreaching the negatives for the team. And you're right when you say that he drives everything. Everything goes through him. And his hockey IQ is just off the charts, and he makes the players around him a lot better. So I agree with your assessment completely.
There you go. A lot of great comments. Gary Coney about him. Maurice Robillard talk about him too. Coach cannot live with Albert making a mistake. Look about that one there. I'm going to talk about him tonight, by the way, Mr. Antap. I cannot miss Jacquard tonight. Every time Mr. Antap come in the show about this one. We have a couple of players in the chat.
They just want to start me up.
No. I have something major for Albert Jacquard, guys. What a defensive play by Hutson in overtime. Maurice, exactly, here to come from Hutson. So, a lot of great comments, guys. The Capitals, Mr. Antap, scored a goal 2-0. Again, Ottawa. Nice. Ottawa cannot lose game like that against Washington Capitals. And don't forget, guys, to click on the likes if you don't mind. That'd be good. And this is the only show we do for Montreal Canadiens per week because we are busy with Montreal and many others. So don't miss it. And thanks, everybody, to be a part of the show. Cap and Grains are doing their job tonight, Barry. Again, Pittsburgh and Ottawa Senator. We'll see if the Pittsburgh can come back with Sidney Crosby back in the house. So now we're going to go to NHL News quickly and talk about the Montreal in the next couple of minutes, guys. First of all, we want to talk about the Montreal and that we did in the next couple of minutes. But before that, Mr. Antap, we have a couple of news around the league. The Nashville Predators announced they gave a contract of 2 years to Zachary Leroux. 2 more years. Leroux was a late first-round pick, I believe, and he got his money, and he's going to stay there with the team. He's been a player up and down in the last couple of years since he got his ELC. But Leroux could be a player, could join the team next season if you have some kind of departure. And then Ducks announced Ross Johnston out for the 3-4 weeks is a guy playing on the 4 line with Anaheim Ducks. Another injury for the Ducks. Tonight we have the return of Sidney Crosby. And he did not miss it. Mr. Antap scored a goal for the Pittsburgh, but not good enough because they are losing 3-2 with 30 minutes to go remaining. And the Devils just scored a goal 4-2 against the Rangers, Mr. Antap. So that's happening there. on this one. So that's what we got here, Mr.
What a
Tap.
story that is, Coach? I mean, if you look at a lot of the teams this year, I mean, to me, the most surprising has to be Pittsburgh,
Absolutely.
without a doubt. Like
Right.
I know that they have some great players. I don't doubt that one bit. But just like you look at the rest of the lineup and you say, okay, yeah, that's a pretty good player, or they're mediocre, average players, but together they're just pulling it off. That's amazing.
Um, honestly, you have to give. I think you have to give the trophy to Dan Muse, the head
Yeah,
coach. For
yeah.
all summer, guys. When he got hired, many people ask who he is. Like nobody knew about. They think they find him at the factory at Pittsburgh and Washington County, but look like he developed. He's been in
Good
hockey
coach.
for many years in the USA program, everything, and you have to give credit for that one for sure. On this
Yeah.
one, Maurice asks you, Mr. Tap, are you ready to give up on Kirby Dach?
I think he asked you, Coach. So you can answer that.
That's what Maurice said. This on the chat.
Coach, are you ready to give up on Doc? What do you think?
No,
I know you'll say no.
Mr. Tap, Pittsburgh, her comments, they just tied the game 3-3.
That's not good.
So I would say to you, no. I understand the fans want to give up on him. I completely understand that. Only yes if you get something in return. So this isn't. I don't know if you can understand me. Like I don't want to give up on him. Like just let him go. All right, like Patrick Laine example. But if you cannot get anything to Kirby Dach, but sign him for 1 year, and let's see what happening again this season. And when he's not hurt, he gave good hockey to the Montreal Canadiens, and I
That's
think
a big what if, right? That's a big what if because like what have we said the last 2 years, Coach? You said this is the year we have to evaluate Doc
yeah,
and
but it
see
does not hurt
whether
Mr.
he's
Tap
there.
when he's on the long term injuries. It's not like you it's not like you're losing him and then you lose completely.
But you
I
can't
think for me the biggest problem would be like
evaluate him.
that it will be more the 3.7. I don't think so. It's a big problem. He's not leveraged to ask for more money. He's going to get 1 more year. And I think you'll be honest with you. If he become a UFA, you'll be shocked. Team will take him,
Oh, I'm sure they will.
right?
The thing is, I think we've established he really is not a center. So
No,
if
no, this
anything,
is over. This
he's
is
going to
the
be a
experience is
winger.
over. We know he's a winger now.
Exactly. So, is he willing to take a pay cut? He's an RFA. There's only so much you can reduce. I think I don't know how much it is. If it's 10, 15% from what they were originally making, you would probably know better than I. But the fact is, it's hard. It's been very difficult to evaluate, what level he can get at because his injuries keep getting in the way. And then it's not just how long he's been out for, but when he comes back, it takes time for him to get back into hockey shape and game shape as well. It's difficult, and do you need that in your lineup? You know, Maybe it's time to move on and give a different prospect that's coming up the pipeline a chance to contribute. Now, I like his size. I like the fact that from time to time he's physical as well. But the problem is, I don't think he brings it with consistency. And so, if that's the case, I don't know. Sometimes you have to cut your losses,
Yeah,
but we'll see.
I understand that. I'm going to respond for all of you guys. You not only let him go, you trade for him, and if you can get anything, you get him only at $3.7 million anyway. And you start right there. Does not work. You go back to a long-term injury reserve, everything like that. He's only 25 years old, and for me, you don't have anybody right now in Laval to take his spot anyway, and you need body size, everything like that. And I think for me, he is just complimentary on the bottom six third line. We know he's a winger now, so no doubt. I'm just not going to give up just to give up. That's my point behind that. I don't want to just let it go and that's it. And remember, all of you guys, Ken Hughes does not do that. Ken Hughes treat his players very well, and he don't do that. So I don't see this happening there like that. At least he don't get. And I will give you an example. Um, what is the value of Kirby Dach example? The Kirby Dach, right? He could be a third plus playing in an NHL right now, and you can get something in return for sure. Can Montreal go that direction? I think they can go that direction if they have a player they can know they can switch the Montreal Canadiens. Uh, but this is not the biggest problem for the Montreal anyway, in my opinion. So
No,
again,
it's
we
not
have
the
to wait.
biggest problem. No.
David Arthur, good night, buddy. I'll talk to you later. Thanks so much, Franklin, Barry, for your comments. And we have to wait until next time. Dach play big, but he play small. No gods all anyway. Can RFA and then can be a part of the package. Exactly. That's my point behind
Yeah.
that. That's another attribute I should
Yes.
have that. It could be a part of the deal. Like I mentioned to you, Matthew, nice
Yeah.
example, right? That's the point behind that.
Mhm.
So that's a great comment. So that overtime changed everything. And I don't want to be negative because I've never been negative. But wins versus RW. That's not that. Montreal at 25 win only. They are 7 in the NHL number the point. But when you remove the number of the tie game and the point, they become now a team number 16. Meanwhile, the Flip Panther are at the bottom of NHL, 24th, 25th. But they have one win over the Montreal Canadiens in overtime. So this is not a problem, but imagine the New York Islanders, Mr. Santa. They are 10-0, I believe, right now, and imagine they only lose 7 of them. They out of the playoff, right?
Yeah,
But
that
do you
puts them
consider
around
right now the
77
New York
points.
Islanders one of the top 10 in NHL?
Well, they're around there. I give them respect because I think they've made some good moves and they're starting to get a solid team. They're getting a little bit more scoring. I do think that things like that, where they've gone 10-0 in overtime, those kind of things will balance out in the end. So they have to be careful. Plus, you go to the playoffs, you take away things like shootouts and playing 3-on-3, so that's not there. So that could hurt them in terms of the playoffs. But I mean, there's an easy way to fix all this, and I've been clamoring at this for years now. I personally don't like the point system the way it is. I like a 3-2-1 and 0 point system where you get 3 in a regular time win, you get 2 if you win in overtime, you get only 1 if you win a shootout, and if you lose under any of those circumstances, you get a 0. I think the teams will not be playing for a tie just to secure a bonus point. They'll go all out to get 3 points in a particular night. So personally, I would like to see that implemented. Will it ever be? I doubt it, because I think they don't want to. A lot of them are very deep rooted in their ways in terms of keeping history the way it's always been. But I think you have to be progressive, and you have to take into account the fact that you're right. It has skewed the game. The overtime has, and the shootout as well. So why not make the change? But I don't think it'll be come to fruition.
Yeah. It's just not good when you think about that one. Um, you know,
It's a very similar argument to why don't we go to a 1 to 8 ranking in each of of the conferences. I mean, that would make it more interesting as well. Because this year you could see somebody like Pittsburgh and New York Islanders right now. They're in second and third, respectively. But you look at the wild cards like Boston and Columbus and Detroit and even Ottawa now, and they could easily surpass the amount of points that those two teams are going to get. If you go to a 1-8, that problem is alleviated, and you get different matchups as well in the playoffs, which I think you avoid what we're headed to see this year, which is first round Minnesota and Dallas. Well, we're talking probably two out of the top four teams in the NHL right now, and one of them is going to go out the first round. Not quite fair, in my opinion.
You're right about that. Who is the Lehigh Valley Phantom guys? Yeah, is the Flyers, right?
Yeah.
So I just give you an idea here because Randy said White Cloud for Kirby Dach. I don't think so. Calgary we gave White Cloud. It makes sense a little bit.
I would do it. I would do it in a snap, Coach.
Yeah, a lot of people said that in the chat, by the way, Mr. Tap. But I'll give you an example for me. And I'll give you an example, but I don't said they will do it. But that will give you an example. At some point, maybe, could be that, could be trade. And in return, it could be a player like David Cherechek.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Here's the point behind that. Cherechek was high pick, like Kirby Dach. He was 5 or 6.
5 or 6, yeah.
Okay. And then Dach number 3. Two players did not reach their full potential in NHL. And maybe never happened at that. But I think this is what I'm talking about. Like you try to trade Kirby Dach because people say he have no value. I understand that. But a trade where a player does not reach his potential or is a disappointment, and then it's a two-player go from one side to other side. I'm talking about David Cherechek. It could be another player, guys, in NHL. Roger McCrory, Yager, trade like that. They trade both them. Did not work that way. Both players are in American Hockey League right now, and I can go like that. So a player's been in draft like in 1918, 2018, 2019, 2020, and then stock and don't go nowhere. So Cherechek guy be trade for Columbus to Minnesota, Minnesota to Flyers, and this is what I'm talking about. So just give me give you an example right there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that.
PW says 0 point an OT would bring hockey back 25 years ago with the trap and Bahrain hockey. About that, Pete Martin is allowed as one.
But you don't get 0 points.
Terrible idea of 0 point OT system. Forgot how Jacques Lemar killed hockey. PW. About that, did not we give Romanov to Dach at the draft? Yeah. Maurice, it was the trade for. They trade Romanov for the 13 overall pick, and the 13 overall pick was trade for Kirby Dach to Chicago on that one. So it is what it is. At the end of the day, you make mistake, and this is one of the mistakes I believe Montreal will get that way. Anyway, so again, you have no system, better system, or a system helping. But I think a question I will ask you guys is. What a goal by Joshua Roy, guys. I know you don't like him, guys. But but honestly, Farrell gave me the Roy make an amazing, great fake. And for the goaltender, the goaltender guy dive in the pool, and he's still looking for the puck and the pool. And what a great play right there. I'll be honest with you, Mr. Tap. Question for all of you in the chat and you. And if you have a choice tonight, do you change the system, the point, or do you want the formula of the playoff go from 1 to 16?
Oh, 1 to 16 would be amazing. I would like to see that. But I think because of travel considerations and costs, I don't think we'll ever see 1 to 16 again. But 1 to 8 makes sense to me on the East, and then 1 to 8 on the West. it just gives you different possibilities of combinations of teams that could meet up. It gives that opportunity for more possibly rivalries to emanate. Um, and like I said, Coach, I've always been a proponent of that 3-2-1-0 point system. Uh, like I really don't I don't I don't see I don't see the logic of rewarding a point once you've gone out, like once you've lost the game. I just I it escapes me, that logic, and if you reward teams for trying not to get to overtime, I think you're going to see exciting hockey, so that you can grasp those 3 points in regular time. And so I think by doing that, by changing the point system, you're going to see less overtime and shootouts. And many people have complained about shootouts. It becomes a skill competition and not a team. The hockey's based on team effort and teamwork. And overtime, for the most part, I know it's only 5 minutes, but all you see is the same, 5 to 6 players on the ice the entire time.
Yeah.
And justifiably, I understand you want to win the game, so you're going to play your best players. There's nothing wrong with that, but it takes away from the whole concept of team sport.
What you get in return is, that the reason they cut everything, the frame time, is because the traveling, right? The charter wait for the players, come back at 11:15 or 11:30, and they go to the next one, and they go for the next one, and so that's another problem behind everything. But 1-8, I think, will be a little bit better. But again, when you do 1-8, many times it's the same team. Whatever you do, the same thing. At the end of the day, I think it would be better for me 1-16. I know the traveling, but again, the next week, guys, I check the schedule until the end of the season. Next week, again, we have Monday, one game.
Okay.
Then 15 Tuesday, and then 2 Wednesday. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, honestly, guys, and with all the respect for the fans, have that team, right? Monday, guys, honestly, it's Ottawa versus Rangers. That's it. Like,
I know.
And then the next game,
it should be a little bit more
balanced.
balanced.
Guys, we have 15 game, right? We have 15 game the next night, right? 6, 7. We have 7 games start at 7 o'clock the next night. Who are you going to watch now? Right?
I know.
And
they all start at the
Tuesday
same
night.
time.
I understand that. But look, Ottawa, Detroit, Tuesday night. Imagine that game will be Monday night. What do you think you're doing? You watch the game Ottawa, Detroit, Tuesday, Monday night. And worst case, guys, the Wednesday, they play 2 games. And is again the freaking Rangers are at the bottom NHL play Toronto Tuesday night, Wednesday night. Now you have a good game Wednesday night. Boston Bruins, Buffalo. I got that one. But again, and you know what, Mr. Tap? Friday night, March, we got 2 games. We have a good game. Buffalo, Detroit. Lucky. But the next game is Chicago Rangers for the Donuts Cup. I don't know, Mr. Tap. And I don't know how they make the schedule. I have no clue. I'm not one to blame. But it's not the way you sell the game. It's not the way you sell the game, I believe. Monsieur Tap and the fans. I don't know how this works right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Canadian Hurricane take the lead, guys, 4-3. Pittsburgh scored a goal, Mr. Tap. Tied the game 2 minutes later, 4-4.
Uh-oh.
But they put the score 5-4. So I don't know what's going on about this one. And then tonight, Mr. Tap, for the Laval Rocket, Laval won tonight 5-1. Let's go to the Pittsburgh Hurricane, Mr. Tap.
I have Pittsburgh 5-4 right now.
Yeah. One,
They
two,
must have
three,
scored
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8.
So I
We're going to
don't
do a
know.
little bit of math today.
We missed a goal right there. About one in empty net. About that, answer one, everything like that. So, Mr. Tap, the race, I want to finish this. I'm going to hit the Montreal. We did 1 hour without too much Montreal. This is Mr. Tap, the race. I don't know if you see that. Buffalo, Tampa
Yeah.
Bay, Montreal, Carolina, guys, Pittsburgh, and Islanders. By the way, guys, this is my new AI, Gary, helping me to do that. That's crazy. Anyway, Columbus, 81 points. On the other side, guys, Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota, Anaheim, Edmonton, Vegas. Imagine that, Mr. Tap. Anaheim, Edmonton, Vegas on the Pacific they don't make the playoff and the Eastern.
That's right.
And then you have Utah and Seattle Kraken on the wild card. And then you have the Kings and the Sharks following by that part over there. If you look about the big picture, guys, in the chat. Okay, Kendall scored a goal, Mr. Tap, to 5-4. 14 seconds. And then 23 seconds, Mr. Tap. They scored 2 goals back-to-back.
Like I said, the biggest surprise of all the teams in the NHL this year.
I know.
Unbelievable.
It's crazy. So, if you look about this, which team do you think could be in the trouble?
Well, before tonight's game, I mean, it's going to be tough here, right? Like you have, like if we're looking at the East first, I guess you want to look at that one first.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, I would think at this point, the only logical competition right now would come out of Ottawa, who's surging at 77, but they're right at the brink of being eliminated. Like they have a big game coming up later, and if they win that, then they're in it. If they don't, I think they're out. So in reality, I think you're looking at Columbus, Detroit, Boston, Montreal, all in that mix, right? Columbus is on a streak. I mean, the only thing that they have working against them is the fact that they have, even though they have a game in hand on most of those teams they're chasing, they do have the hardest schedule in terms of strength of schedule. So, but sometimes that brings out the best in teams, and we've seen it even in Montreal, right? Sometimes we play a harder team, we play better. We play a weaker team, and we get surprised that's the case. If I had to guess a team that won't make it, I think it might be Detroit. I just don't like the way things are going lately with them. I think they're just playing around 500 the last 10 games. I think they're like 4-2 or something like that. They have a couple of costly injuries there. Gibson hasn't been as consistent as he was at the beginning. So they have some issues, and they're a little bit weak up the middle right now. In the West, it's I don't know. I still think San Jose and LA are alive. You got Seattle and Utah. If I had to venture a guess, I mean, not even Anaheim, who right now is in first, tied for first, is safe. 77 points is not by any means safe in terms of getting into the playoffs. But I would say Seattle maybe will be the odd team out, and I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think San Jose is going to sneak in there.
5-5, Tap.
Oh boy, what did they score with? How many seconds?
2:51 now. This remaining. Miller scored a goal. Okay. He hit the skate of someone. Crazy game. That's what we talk about. Entertaining game, Mr. Tap. This is all about at the end of the day. PW is raised about that. About the entertaining side about the game. and N26 talk about Pittsburgh and a lot of people. But I follow you. Columbus go in, Detroit go out, Seattle Kraken
Yeah,
go out.
out.
I go
And
with
I
the
think
Kings.
I'm gonna say San Jose, but I mean you bring up a good point because if you look at this strength of schedule, LA has the easiest schedule the remaining 15 games that they have, but can they get the scoring? That's the issue.
Yeah,
In losing
absolutely.
Fiala, they lost a lot.
Yeah, absolutely about that for sure. Let's go, guys, on the Montreal Canadiens. We have past 1 hour. We passed our time, but I think it was a good conversation anyway. That's good to hear for all of you guys. Don't forget, please, to click on the likes. Mr. Hunter, we're going to talk about the Montreal Canadiens, and we're going to start with a recap of the game. And then after that, guys, be ready because about 7 questions for Mr. Hunter tonight and for all of you in the chat, and they are deep. They are not easy questions. Just said, there's going to be the clash, Mr. Tap. We repeat the clash. What are you talking about? Because the question is about the milestone. And do you think they can reach that milestone right there? And we'll see what's happening tonight. But first of all, Mr. Tap, the recap of the game. Montreal Canadiens won by the score 3-2 last night. I think for me it was the playoff game. And for both teams, very great. And I think, in my opinion, remember that, guys, on this one. And they have rivalry in hockey, Montreal, with Toronto, Ottawa. But this Boston, Mission Tap, it's never been under them. Like, it's been the biggest rivalry, I believe, between Montreal and the Boston Bruins for years. And it will always be there. Toronto been there, or Ottawa tried to make that, but never going to be like the Boston, in my opinion. And that's good for hockey. It's good for the fans, by the way. But great game overall last night.
I would say for Toronto Maple Leaf fan base, I think Montreal-Toronto is the biggest rivalry. But for Montreal, it's definitely Montreal and Boston. Actually, yes. I would go a step further and say it's really Montreal and Quebec. But since they're not there, Montreal and Boston for sure.
Exactly. I thought about Quebec too, but you're right for sure on that one. No passenger last night, guys. Everybody play a solid game for Montreal Canadiens. Of course, you have a mistake every time that, but I just love the way they play as a unit, as a team, with a 5 play on the ice. And they find a way to get a W last night for sure. A couple of milestones. Brendan Gallagher, 900 game yesterday. 6 hit yesterday for Brendan Gallagher. I know it's not 1,000. We understand that because of 1,000 you celebrate before the game. You get your silver stick and everything like that. The family is there, everything like that. But a 5th round pick in NHL in 2007, I believe. This is a great career for Brendan Gallagher, and he's not done yet. We'll see what's happening, but look, he feel it, the end, but he always gave his best, and we cannot give him him for that part. Cole Caufield finally Mr. on top after 31 years, 32 almost, honestly. He found a way to score the 40 goal by a player for the Montreal Canadiens, and he did it on the great fashion, a game-winning goal like he does all the time. He passed now over Moritz. I know. I think you saw him, right? Maybe not on the TV, but you've been at the game to see Moritz, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah, so that's what I thought about this because Moritz, the TV was not there yet. The black and white TV was not there, but. I'm sure you've been there a couple of games to see Moritz to play with the Montreal Canadiens. But finally, he got the record of 13 game-winning goal on overtime. He's now the leader of the Montreal Canadiens in history. Finally, Nick Suzuki got 80 points. That's a coach, not big deal, 80 points. I understand that, but he's the one of the captain. Do back-to-back 80 points. It's been rare and the franchise history for Montreal Canadiens. And he did it, accomplished, and he's still on the pace to get 90 points and maybe more with 15 games to go. So Nick Suzuki, and the way he did last night, the first line at 7 points yesterday, 5 points yesterday, They dominate the line of Pasternak, Menden yesterday, and that would contribute because the performance on Nick Suzuki last night, and that's good for him, honestly, for the captain. I think he's underrated. I think nobody considers him. I think he should deserve more credit around. But what a great game for him. I'm going to give you the highlights, Mr. Tap, then you can talk about that one. And finally, Mr. Tap, an overtime. You save Peter Bech not only on overtime, but during the game to keep the Montreal Canadiens in the game and to get at least 1 point. His breakaway, I watched again, I think Zaka missed the net. But again, he faced the breakaway, so he stand out in front of the bench, in front of the net. To get no space for Zaka. And finally, the Suzuki shot pass. I don't think so it was a pass. It was more like a shot. I think Caufield got it on that one. And the Hutson, we talk about him, is the energizer with the play he did on the 2-versus-1. So that gives you a little bit the highlights of that part. Now it's your turn to give me your comment. The Flames take the lead 1-0 against the Blues on this game. 5-5, we'll go to overtime, Pittsburgh.
5-5 overtime. Okay, so there you go. They're both going to get a point out of this at least. Coach, it was a solid game by both teams, both ways. I thought both goaltenders made some excellent saves at key times in the game. But Montreal could have easily won the game late in the third there with a couple of key opportunities they had. And then I think there was one opportunity where Evans was set up so beautifully at an open net, but unfortunately didn't capitalize. But overall, it was a team effort. I thought Dobeš again came up big. He made a couple of phenomenal saves, especially there was one late in the third and one in overtime as well that helped the team move on and get the victory. Caufield, this guy's been clutch. Cole Caufield, and you want an alliteration? Cole Caufield clutch. CCC or C cubed, whatever you want to call him. And this guy is I just love how his game has come together. It's not just about scoring points and goals. He's become so much more improved in other aspects of his game. Suzuki, what can you say? He's been Mr. Consistent for the last 4 or 5 years for Montreal. He's the only player that I've seen that, sometimes players in their career, even though you might see a linear progression, there's always a year or two where you see a gap and there's a bit of a regression. And so far, knock on wood, Suzuki every year has improved his total point get. So that's just amazing. And sometimes when you need that key goal, he and Hutson are the ones that are out there and are initiating. And I think that Hutson, we talked about him earlier, so I'm not going to get into it too much, but everything goes through this guy. It really shows that when you start getting some players together that have not only that ceiling and that promise, but are starting to bring it to fruition, then that's when you start seeing not only individual goals being established, but also team progression being established. And that's what we're witnessing right now.
Yeah. Yep, sorry about that. One thing I would say to you also, first of all, welcome back, George and Dan Asham. We're going to celebrate also Dan, N26. I know we make some comments, but I appreciate that. And the first on the team is very good. Hopefully, I'm blessed with good enough health to see them raise the Stanley Cup 25. George, we're all on the same boat, by the way. So, only Mr. Nartab, Mr. Nartab is going to be alive until 136 years old, but it's going to be fine. Mr. George, don't worry about that. Barry is in the house also. A lot of great comments in the chat. We love it. We love you. And don't forget, please, to click on the likes. I will say to you, Mr. Nartab, behind everything, I think all the 4 line played a good game yesterday. The first line produced. The line guys, the budget and
Anderson,
Evans
Anderson,
with
and Evans.
TC. Uh,
Oh, Tessier. Yeah.
Pretty good. At some point, I don't know how they can remove Bodzik or TC Renard if Kirby Dach was in the lineup because they play a solid game yesterday. Very active. Jake Evans played good hockey since the Olympic, came back from Olympics, Jake Evans. And the line to Philippe Dano, again, Dano. Another 80% face-off yesterday. Dano, guys, is honestly do his role with the Montreal Canadiens, and then Gallagher last night with Anderson. Anderson have a great game, Mr. Tap. The fourth checking. Mr. Tap,
Two
if Josh
breakaways.
Anderson, guys, have the hands of Nick Zukig's, well, maybe not, but the hand scorer, and Josh Anderson scored 400 goals in NHL, Mr. Tap. He has breakaway. He cannot. I don't know what's going on breakaway, Mr. Tap. I think I don't know, but anyway. And then the second line pretty good. Demidov, Kapanen, and New Hook last night. So and then defensive. I really like the performance of everyone. Strabo have a great game yesterday, Mr. Tap. And it's not because you said, "Oh, you don't like Jagai." Nothing about that, guys. You have nothing against this. It's more about Strabo last night. Strabo had a really good game yesterday. Excellent game, in my opinion, with the Montreal Canadiens. So I will see what's going to happen against Detroit. But yesterday, Strabo and everybody, defensemen, have a good game overall. Do you think Ab can make it to the second round? Carolina Hurricane won tonight 6-5. Another night of Skinner with 5-6 goals against him. And the game is over, guys. And overtime, Pittsburgh get 1 point. They're going to take it, of course. And Ottawa losing 2-0. It's not good sign about that. And that's it, guys, on this game. Again, the Pittsburgh Penguins and Canada Hurricane. The game is also over for the Laval. Laval won tonight, guys, by the score of 5-1. And now the game, Ottawa and the Washington Capitals, is 2-0 with 10 minutes to go remaining on the third period. So that give you a bit of information about that. So that's happening yesterday, guys. And then I want to talk about the stood out, Mr. Tap. Let me know what you think the stood out, the obscure at the office, at the turning point for the people, guys, if you don't mind.
Well, in terms of stood out, you can name about 4 or 5 players, I think, for Montreal. I mean, I'm going to go with because of the milestone. I'm going to go with Caufield with his 40th goal of the year. He also had an assist that he contributed. I think he was a +2 on the night overall. He was present on almost every shift that he played and was a dangerous entity. He had, I think, 4 or 5 shots on goal. He even had a block shot yesterday. And, and again, when does he score? He scores in overtime. And, another game winner. And I think he's up to 8 now, if I'm not mistaken, in overtime, or 8 winners. I forget which one it is, but there's you understand that there's players that don't get anywhere near that in their entire career in overtime, and this guy's done it just in 1 year. So I'll give the kudos to him. For obscure, I'm going to go with Josh Anderson. I think you were hinting at that earlier, Coach. He had a goal. He could have had a hat trick yesterday easily. He had 3 shots on net. He had 4 hits. He was very present. I thought he was a +1 on the night, and you could tell what the game plan for Montreal was. And Anderson was, and Bolduc as well. They were all behind this, and that was to make it very difficult on the defenders, and to go after McAvoy, not allow him to really get much time with the puck. And every chance they got, they threw the body at McAvoy, and it was well executed. And you could tell Boston, just like everything goes through Hutson in Montreal, a lot of the plays go through McAvoy in Boston. So it was good game planning. At the office, I couldn't really think of anybody in particular. So I'm going to throw the power play unit in there, because I think now they're, if I'm not mistaken, they're 0 for 9 over the last 3 or 4 games. And there's no reason that they should be, because they have very talented players on that unit. I'm hoping that this is just a phase, but it seems like, a
Oh,
lot
oh,
of times they're keeping everything on the periphery, coach. Everything, like, nice passes. They're trying to make that picture perfect play instead of sometimes saying, "Hey, I've got a good shot here. Let me take the shot." And it's a little bit too much. I think that they should be a little bit more aggressive that way in terms of taking shots and then going after the loose rebound if it's there. So I'm going to throw the entire power play unit, specifically the first line power play. And then finally, turning point, I'm going to say probably, I think it was in the third period, Dobesh, when he stretched out for that big blocker save on Charlie McAvoy from the slot midway through the third. And it was a absolutely key moment in the game, and it really turned the tide for Montreal. And then we saw what happened in the
a good point
dying
about that.
minutes and then overtime.
Good point. We talk also, PW talk about Tobesh stood out the obscure Swabble or Thompson at the office, Bolduc. I disagree with you about that one, PW, Bolduc. Turning point, Tobesh. I think you talk about that one,
Yeah.
like Inartap said. Look, stood out.
You got lots to choose from.
Yeah, I just like the job of Nick Zuski yesterday.
Yeah.
Nick Zuski, it was a really good game overall. I understand Tobesh also, what he accomplished. That would give me my obscure. Honestly, I'm thinking about Josh Anderson, obscure. That would be one of them. But Tobesh, honestly, cannot score goals, so I understand that. So I'm going to give the obscure to him, for him. At the office, I don't have anybody. I would say to you, I understand your point, your power play, but for the 0-9, you have a couple of power play, they play very well. For me, a power play is, of course, the outcome is to score a goal. But if you contribute, you distribute the puck very well. But you have some kind of, they have only 0-1 yesterday. So I cannot go with the power play yesterday for the Montreal Canadiens. It's just like sometimes the entry zone, the setup is not great. I think on the weekend against San Jose and Anaheim, it was not very good. A couple of times, I agree with you about that one there. At the office, guys, no. Martin St. Louis want to take a day off, Mr. Top. Don't want to talk to anybody. I want to put anybody there. And then the turning point, I agree with you and everybody in the chat. I think the blocker shot for me is really the point, because at that moment it was 2-2.
Yeah.
Right? And on that one, Dan, do you think the ad need to go to another goalie? No, not allowed about that one. On this one, for me, I put Bolduc at the office because he never goes in front of the net as a goal scorer. It should be his bread and butter. About that, but I like his intensity. I like his body check. I don't know how many hit he yesterday. I think he complete a good line with TC and Jake Evans, honestly. So a lot of great comments there, Mr. Tap, about that. We're going to consider, because I think we're going to get that 30 minutes, guys. I'm going to fire you up, Mr. Tap. Be ready. And the people in the chat, because I have a lot of comments right here and about the Montreal Canadiens. Caufield, do you use Cole Caufield at 5 versus 6, everybody? Let me know in the chat if you said yes or no. Let me know why the reason are behind your opinion. And Mr. Tap, that's your first question on the next 7. Who do you use Cole Caufield at 5 versus 6? And we know Caufield scored a lot of goals on overtime. He had 13 goals and overtime. He scored a couple of goals in power play, but not a lot of goals in power play, by the way. But a good number, and he played a lot of ton of 5-on-5. Compared to people score 40 goals, 50 goals, and plus, usually they are at the end of the game at 5 versus 6. Is this something Martin St. Louis should do it? Are you comfortable to use Cole Caufield at the end of the game? And let me know in the chat. And Mr. Tap, you are ready now to let me know what you think about this, sir.
Well, like I said earlier, I like the fact that his game has really come full round, and I think defensively he's become much better than what he was when he first came into the league. Would I put him on when there's an empty net or 6-on-5 for the other team? Uh, I'd still rather have, let's say, Suzuki out there and some of your better defensive coverage players, especially on the defensive end. I think you need your two best defensemen out there. Um, I It doesn't hurt, but I don't necessarily want to see him in that situation.
Okay. Well, a couple of people, Mr. Saturday Night on one for Cole Caufield. That's a good, I'll be honest with you. Cole would be used at the end one is really close to 50 and is running low on
Yeah, yeah,
time. About that.
you're right. Yeah, I
Uh,
agree with that.
that's a good one there. That's not a bad comments. Now, no doubt in my mind, if you lead by 2 goals, Mr. Tap,
Yeah, if you lead by 2 and you want to give them those
all right, you can get
opportunities,
there.
absolutely.
But I would say to all of you guys, I would use Cole Caufield. I think is more responsible now, like he never been before, and
He is.
I think at the end of the day, the way it is now at 5 versus 6, it's about block shot. It's not like a big battle in the corner. Everybody go in the corner to get a puck, like it was before, and it will put the puck in the net. And you know what? At some point, Mr. Tap, I understand the playoff is important. I understand that, right? You guys, were focusing for the last 15 games, honestly, right? But I will be honest with you. I think you deserve it. I think you have to reward Cole Caufield. I know it's maybe
So
selfish over the playoff, but if he was not a player, Mr. Tap, uh, responsible or he was difficult, he does not play very well. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to be worried more with Brendan Gallagher at the end example there, or I would be more
yeah,
with Kirby Dach example. But
yeah, I
I
agree with that. Yeah,
think Cole
but who do you
Caufield,
take off?
I
Who do
think
you
Cole
take off?
Caufield deserve to be there and to get there. Now, not every solution, every time, but I'll give you an example. You have a face-off on the defensive side with 1:45 to go. Now you bring your top players. Maybe Cole Caufield should not be there. But if you have after that, they're still there for 1:45 Mr. Tap. And now at the players should change after that. Now you can maybe bring Cole Caufield to finish the game because now you have to get with your second unit behind that. It's a little bit like Juraj Sakaski now. Juraj Sakaski is big, right? But his responsibility versus Cole Caufield, I would trust more Cole Caufield versus Sakaski. So you have two things there: the size, the body, the block shot,
That's it.
right?
That's it.
Then that's what you have to figure out that part. Is it Daz versus Cole Caufield? I'm not sure. For me, not on my first unit, but on my second unit, I would consider that for sure, Mr. Tap. And at the end of the day, I understand the playoff is important, but we still have 1 point at the end of the game, and we still maybe win another time. And I will go that route every time. Now, not every game, but I will give better chance to Cole Caufield. He never play at 6-on-5, Mr. Tap. He never play. Like, he would bring Kapanen over Cole Caufield. He would bring another one behind. Does it make sense? Like, this is how I see that.
Yeah, I think he tries to put a little bit more size. I think Marty St. Louis is interested in getting bodies that will block shots. So size is important. Stick is extremely important. Um, and he is worried that sometimes if you get caught in the corner, I mean, if you got the bigger body, it's hard to move somebody off the puck than it is, somebody that's 5 foot 10 or 5'8" as Caufield is, or whatever he is now, 5'9". So yeah, maybe on the second string you can do that, or if you're up by 2 goals and they pull the goalie, I have no issues with that. Like I said, I think his defensive game has really come full circle, and he's improved drastically with that. But the problem is, who would be your five that you put on, Coach? In your opinion, who are
Would
the
be
five?
what?
Who are the five that you would put on? If you put one of them will be Hutson, let's say. So who are your other four?
I would use with Cole Caufield,
Yeah,
Nick
like
Zuski.
who do you take off? Who do you take off?
Okay. For me, I will use that part. I will remove Anderson. I will keep Dano and Nick Zuski or Dano Evans.
Evans, yeah.
So that would be my with Caufield right there. So that would be that one over there. But PW bring me another good comments. You know what?
But if you use Caufield, you're not using. Chances are you're not using Suzuki.
Why not?
Well, you're gonna have your two defensemen. You're gonna have probably, I agree, Evans and possibly Dano in there. And so, do you put out Suzuki as your fifth, or do you put out Caufield as your fifth? For me, I think I'd rather have Suzuki in there.
Yeah, of course. Of course, you the option Caufield is not my first priority. I would prefer to get,
Second wave.
yeah, but you
Second
cannot
wave.
use Zuski, Dano, and Evans. You have three center there, right? So you can use a pairing, right? Dano a left versus a right. After that, Zuski and or Evans right there. They bring usually Josh Anderson. But PW bring a good
Yeah,
point. I would prefer to leave Cole Caufield 2 minutes on the power play all night
yeah,
long at the end of the game.
yeah, yeah. I don't disagree with that.
Yep. I think it's good about this one over there. Mr. Tap, the next question. We see the comment is I can wait. This is my question of the night. Every night I do a question. The question is live. But I'm going to bring you, Mr. Tap, 2-1 now, Washington and Ottawa. So someone have Thompson on the fantasy. And now you don't get the who you place this week?
I forget who it is. Yeah.
I play me. I play Marco.
Oh, you play Marco, so it's a big
Yeah.
game.
You have a big week last week, Marco. I still win it by a couple of points right now, but well, it's not matter anymore. I finished first anyway, so I feel better because you're the shark, so you get all the trade to reinforce your
Here we
team.
go.
Not me. Me, I play
First of all,
the patient coach GM. I think I could be a great GM in NHL. I draft, I develop, I improve, and then I'm
develop.
squeezed when
How do
people
you
make a
develop?
mistake.
How do you develop, Coach? How do you develop a fantasy team?
Because you get power play goal and everything like that. And then people make a mistake. They drop a player like I pick up Pierre-Luc Dubois.
Yeah.
And then I pick up Taylor Hall. Why from nowhere? Taylor Hall have a great second half of the season, by the way. Anyhow, let's move on, Mr. Tap. A question for everybody. Who do you put in the net tomorrow night, guys? Tobash or Fuller?
I think they're gonna go with Fowler, but I would ride the hot hand right now. I would go with Dobesh personally, but I think that's the direction they'll go. I know they'll use definitely Fowler on a lot of the back-to-backs that are coming up. I think there's 2 more left, including New Jersey. I think they have a back-to-back with New Jersey. Yeah, I would go with Dobesh, but I think they're going to go with Fowler.
Yeah. Mr. Tap, Washington scored a goal, an empty net.
3-1. Good.
3-1. So Ottawa, guys, knocked down.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
This will be hard for them, Mr. Tap.
Yeah, now it is. Now it is. They had to win this game.
Hey, guys, this is going to be Ottawa, guy. A year they made the playoff, and now they are out. Can Brady Tkachuk ask out of Ottawa? That's another story for another
Don't
time,
start
Mr.
rumors. Don't start rumors, Coach.
Randy, go with Tobash. Go back with Tobash GF. Fuller for Roger Bouchard. Fuller for George. Welcome back, Mr. T. Murray. Don't forget, guys, to click on the likes. Cole Fowler, Pete Martin. Tobash, I think, but I will go Saint Louis decision. That's one. That's one. It's not. You need to get the more stronger. That's one. Fowler need to work, Roger Bouchard. I will do hockey and National Live on that one. Saint Louis, that's one. I will go with Fowler. And I would say the reason behind that, they've been, since he's moved up, called up, they play like 1-1, every game. And I don't think Fowler have a bad game last weekend. And I think for me, let's go back with Tobash Saturday. Until one fell apart, I think that would be my decision about that one over there. But
I don't think you can go wrong either way. I think that they're both quite in sync, and the nice thing is that there aren't any back-to-back, so maybe it is better to make sure that they're getting a little bit of time each. So Saturday they have, I believe, the Islanders. So if you go with Dobesh there, then you go with Fowler tomorrow, or you can switch it around. But then you have a stretch of time that Fowler hasn't played, so maybe that's a consideration too.
Yeah, definitely about that. Some people said again, Tobash deserve it, confidence. Naj entrances go with Tobash 22-7-4, Fowler 5-5-2, guys. Yeah, again, for me, I split. I think both of them are confidence right now. I don't think so. That will not get more confidence to Tobash. Tobash playing right now or his top hockey. And why to wait Fowler for Saturday when Tobash win play Tuesday? I think I will go 1-1 right now. And we'll see.
Yeah.
Cole Hutson just scored first in NHL.
Empty net.
So Cole Hutson's guys scored a first goal, and his dad happy in the stand with his mom. Cole Hutson, number 44, Mr. Natap.
As an aside, Coach, what do you think is the ceiling for Cole Hutson?
Better Alain.
Really? I don't think so.
And I'll tell you why. He's bigger.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's as skilled as Lane. I think Lane
when I said that,
has a better IQ.
When I said that, I'm going to change a bit my words. When I said that, I think it would be more complete. Does it make sense? Like more on the defensive side, better at Lane Hutson. But it's, I think it's a good play about that one there. On this one, Randy 4-1 Washington. Here we go. Ottawa lost a game. They need to win. Awful. You're right about that, Mr. Rob. The Detroit game is too important to put Fowler, and I hope he can closer to 500 about that one. That's a good point there too about that one. I don't see no problem with that part. Mr. Top, the next one. The end of Dach, Gallagher, and Montembeault lining next year.
Well, we know that they're not fans of a 3-goalie system, so I think for sure Fowler starts in Montreal, probably as the backup next year, if not the starter, depending on how things progress. So I think Monty, that would probably be the end. I think Galley still has Does he have one more year on his contract, Coach?
1 year.
Yeah, so I think he stays. And I know we probably don't agree with this one, but I think it will be the end of Dach. I think that they've had their evaluation of him, and you know, hoping to get that expectation of him trying to reach a ceiling at this stage is going to be a big gamble. So I think he'll be part of a package trade deal, maybe at the draft.
No, good point about that. Honestly, the only player on that list, and it will be Gallagher. And you said, yeah, but what about Kirby Dach? I think Kirby Dach would be trade for someone. That's my point behind that, right? Remember what I said?
Yeah,
David
yeah.
Jiricek. That's what I feel they're going to try to do for Kirby Dach. They're not going to give Kirby Dach. But if they have a chance to trade like this, David Jiricek, a right defenseman like that, I think they will go that one. You're going to have a big trade during summer, guys. Be careful
Yeah.
with the Wild. The Wild, New Jersey, guys. I'm going to announce this. A bold prediction. Jack Hughes is going to be traded to the Minnesota Wild.
And not Quinn Hughes. Not Quinn Hughes to New Jersey.
Kovacevic. And they're going to get in return Brock Faber and New Jersey looking for a forward, and that's what I'm not sure about that one. If Minnesota want to trade Eriksson, AK, but I'm not sure about that because that's not the philosophy of Bill Guerin. But yeah. I wouldn't be surprised, guys. Jack Hughes get traded during summer.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know about that. I think
they have to, Mr. They have to trade. They have to make a trade, New Jersey. And I apologize. I know who's coming in return. Jack Hughes, Kovacevic, for the goaltender, Wallstead, Faber could be part of this trade together. Usually get a great goaltender long term. They get a right defenseman they're looking for. And Minnesota get the brother of Luke Hughes. And that Jack Hughes, apologize. And then, so, again,
the
New Jersey guys are looking for something in return at some point.
Doesn't Markstrom still have a term on his contract? Markstrom?
Maxwell, he just signed a new deal, 2 years contract.
Right. So, I mean, you got to believe if Wallsted's going one direction, then Markstrom's
maybe
going the
Jake
other
Allen.
direction.
Jake Allen is 1 more year after that.
Yeah.
So, again, don't be surprised, Jack. I don't want to waste my time with Jack Hughes, but I just want to share with that. Faber with Wallstad, Randy, we agree with you on that one. So, they'll go next one, Mr. Tap. Next summer, too many left defensemen, Mr. Tap. Who is going to be traded?
It all depends on what they're going for. I mean, you look at it on the surface, and it's easy to say, well, it's going to be probably Struble, in my estimation. But I mean, if it's a big deal that's being consummated, then I could see maybe Gooley being a part of that instead of Struble if the price is high. It all depends on what's coming back in the other direction in my eyes. But yeah, there's some left-handed defensemen because we have quite a few of them, and some left-handed defensemen that right now are playing on the right side that shouldn't be. So I could see a left-handed defenseman going out. I just, depending on what the return is, it's hard to say. Like it's easy to say, oh well, of course it'll be Jack-Eye or it'll be Struble, or maybe even Engstrom. Engstrom could be a possibility as well if they're not going to go the Gooley route.
Do you think Jack-Eye will be traded or not?
Do I want him to be traded?
Now,
No,
if you think
but
he could be traded,
he could be. He could be, and I'll tell you why. I don't want it, but I could. I'll tell you why. If you don't have the coach's trust, then you're useless on the team. Um, and that seems to be the situation. They don't seem to be, in my opinion, they don't seem to be as invested in trying to develop Jackeye as they are some other players. Again, that's my opinion. And if that's the case, then you have to do you have to do the right thing by him, and you have to do the right thing by your team. And so you can't have him just sitting around not playing, or when he does play, he plays 8 minutes. It just puts too much stress and toll on your top four defensemen. And like I said before, once they start playing over their time limit, their TOI, that's when fatigue sets in. When fatigue sets in, that's when mistakes are made, and that's usually when the game it could be lost.
Pete Martin said, "Coach, you want enough time to set trade Jackeye."
Not in my eyes, but hey, whatever.
I think he's going to be one. He's going to be trade on top. I know people say, "I see that he's going to say that." I'll tell you the reason behind that. It's because, Mr. Tap,
Yeah.
you have Cooley, Madison, and Hutson on the left side, following by Engstrom. So you have 4 left winger there, 4 left defensemen. And then after that, you have Strobel and Jackeye. Well, I think, in my opinion, Strobel is a better hockey player. What he bring a better play game, right? But I think the physicality is more about Jackeye. So I think it's break even. Does it make sense? Like one have something, then one have other things. In my opinion, on the right side, you're going to keep Carrier and Rebacker next season. So if they don't trade a big trade, example, and with all the people thinking Caden Cooley, guys, Caden Cooley is a very important player for the Montreal Canadiens. It's not because you have and I think sometimes we look about 30 game or 40 game or 50 game and then, trade him. He's bad. He's not good enough right there. It makes sense like we, a number that spend a game and then we just want to trade the players. I think Cooley play a big role on that organization. So for me, I would be not surprised to trade Jackeye because the value of Jackeye is better as trouble. It makes sense. Like
absolutely.
If you trade Jackeye tomorrow, you're going to get bigger. If you put Strobel, you're going to be a part of the package deal and everything like that. Now, are they going to say, let's keep Jackeye and make Strobel on the package deal? That would sacrifice that. Is it possible? Yes. But I would not be surprised, guys, Montreal trade Jackeye at the NHL draft to get something bigger and better for something happen there. That's my, and it's not because I don't like him. It's not. It's just you have to realize
you don't like him.
You have to realize what's going on. It's not going to be better for Martin St. Louis. He's not going to trust him more. He start on the ladder, and obviously, you're going to say, "Yeah, but we need him at the playoff, guys. We need him last night."
Yeah, we did.
He would not make its friend right there last night. I understand people don't want to see that. Yes, coach, the playoff is another game. It's another level. I understand that. But in my opinion, I prefer to have Goalie, Hutson, and Madison at Jackeye on the ice.
Look, I think Luke puts it best. He said, and this is what I was alluding to before. He says if he's not going to get a fair chance, and it doesn't appear that he will in Montreal,
that's the point behind that.
Then you capitalize and you do that. But you're making a defense. What is their biggest need? It's not only a right-handed defenseman, coach, which I think they're going to aim to get this summer, but it has to be a defenseman that is big, has some ruggedness to him, will push players out of the way in front of the net, will play a physical brand of game. He'll bring some sandpaper to the game, somebody with size. So if that's the case, and that's why this question is, I mean, I don't think it's structured very well because, like I said before, it really depends on who you get in return. Like if you're getting a great defenseman that's a number three, 2 or 3 in the league,
But what
and
happened in
and you're
Mr.
giving
Tap is
away
going to
if you're
back
giving
that
away
way.
Gooley, if you're giving away Gooley for that, then I would do that trade in a
I would
heartbeat
tell you
because
one thing here, Mr. Tap. The reason why I believe what happened that way. We all knows, I know, and people in the fence know, all of them knows also. We need to upgrade over Alex Carrier.
absolutely.
All right.
That's
So
why
if you look about this, whoever it is, right? We don't need whoever it is. We upgrade Carrier. We have Rebacker, and we have Thompson. So that that 3 defensemen is set up. That will give us, and after that, Cooley, Hutson, Madison. That's set up. After that, you have Engstrom, Strubble, Jekai, Carrier. That's 4. How can you qualify me, or how can you tell me Jekai should be there? Hey, he's the
Coach.
worst of the 4 defensemen about hockey since. So for me,
I don't
unfortunately,
know about
he's
that.
stuck behind that. Mr. Tap, he cannot pass the puck. He
Ah,
cannot pass the puck. He cannot pass the puck. He cannot create any pass right there. You can watch all the game, guys. You can watch it. I see him for years, and that's the reason is my problem with him. He cannot give the puck tape to tape. It's not his hockey sense is limited. That said, we know his
his
quality
hockey
hockey,
skill.
right?
If you
But
want to
he
say the
cannot
hockey
fit
skill,
on
that's
the top
different.
6, Mr. Top. He cannot move over the top 6 we have if he had no injuries. And behind what we got, Carrier, Strobel, Jekai, and Engstrom, I believe you can get more from Jekai. And I will say again, possible his brother will move out. His brother, Albert.
Well, of those 3, actually, the one that'll get you the most value, I think, would be Engstrom, because here's a defenseman that can play left, right, can make very good passes, skates well, can contribute offensively, carry the puck out. So a team that's looking at Struble, looking at Jackeye, looking at Engstrom, I think they would lean towards Engstrom first and foremost.
Carlos score, power play goal, Mekar. Again, we can talk all night about that. It just feel for me. It's just like I would not be surprised to trade Jekai. And I agree with Luke. I agree with you. He's stuck with Martin Saint behind, and they don't trust him enough
Yeah,
for that part over there. I understand people. We
it's
need size.
unfortunate.
We need this. I all understand that. It's just the situation. Does it make sense? Like I'm just describe what happening there. On the top defenseman, I don't think so. He's going to be get that part of there. But we see what happening there, Mr. Top. The next one, Mr. Top, is about this one. What Montreal missing, Mr. Top, for the playoff?
Well, I think we all know this from the trade deadline time. We're looking at you got a right-handed defenseman with size that's missing. You need a rugged winger with size again that's been there with experience, and of course you need that 2C. I still think that that's something that they're going to be very active in trying to obtain this summer. I think that those are your 3 key areas. I don't think that they'll look for goalies. I think they're going to be pretty much set with Dobesh and Fowler, with the hope that Fowler's your guy the rest of the way as he gains more experience, and Dobesh is more than adequate. Than like he's more of a 1B than he is a backup. So I think we're okay there, barring injuries, of course. But I think the combination of the defensemen is an issue right now. And it's not just whether they're playing left or right, it's the pairings that matter. And you notice that from a night to night basis as one new defenseman comes in, another one goes out, and then they get paired with somebody else. There's always something skewed with the way they're playing. You can say it's part of the defensive system. I agree with that, but it's also part of the like some of the goals that are scored. It's because the defensemen are not getting proper positioning in front and preventing passes coming inside in front of the net or able to get rebounds. Like too many goals are scored off of easy rebounds that are given out, and you can say that that's part of the goalie's fault, but it's also part of the defenseman's fault because they're not in proper position to take that puck away. And so the combination is an issue for me. And I think that they'll fix that first before they fix the winger, before they fix the 2C position.
I think for me, as a right defenseman, that will be a priority right there. And you don't need to be a top defenseman. Makes sense? Like a defenseman number 4 and 5. So my point of view is you don't have to pay a lot. You have to pay, but you don't have to pay for Canadien example. Let's just give you a name like that, right? It makes sense. Like a 4 and 5. An example, I think, Isa Lendl. Does it make sense? Like, or a Mailer, Kadri Mailer. They are not at the top pairing. I know Lendl what he does because he have no choice now. That is, but I think this is the kind of player I'm looking for. A top 4 and 5 together. I think that's what we're looking for. More at a top 6 forward. And because the top 6, Mr. Tap, they will have to realize, everybody in the chat, would you prefer to pay a player $12 million? Or do you want to split the pie with 5 players at $8 million or $9 million? Does it make sense? Like, I think they have enough what they have right there. Sakeski, Zuski, Caufield, book it. That's it. That's all. Demidov, book it. That's all. Can Kapanen be that center number 2? Right now, he's looking good. And then you fit a spot right there. But can we increase that spot, Kapanen on your hook, at $8 million, not at $12 million? Is it makes like Jason Robinson is a great example. But Jason Robinson, guy, is going to cost you now at $12 million, at $13 million. And I think for me, I would prefer to get another player at $8 million over New Hook or Kapanen. And then we have no choice. We cannot pay everybody, guys, at $8, $9, $10 million. So keep Kapanen on New Hook. Go get that player I'm talking about. And I don't know, have no name. It's not my point there. But a guy can score a 30 goal, 25 goal, can play physicality, a forechecker guys, everything like that. Again, but this is my point behind that. But I will focus those 2 areas of this game. Then after that, the wood bodies. I'm talking about right now. After that, Gallagher, Villano, Dach. To where we have other players. Like, I'm still debate for DC for me, but still. And 2 years, guys, next year. And remember, guys, and 2 years from today to next year, right? We're going to talk again in March 2027, right? We're going to have now Dano, Anderson, Gallagher out during the summer. So this is, I'm always said to all of you guys, this is the year where the Montreal Canadiens are going to be the next level over there. Open there, that would bring now Michael Edge inside of that team. That will help in the Montreal Canadiens, and the rest will be happy to see that. So again, I see a summer guys active, looking for what they're missing, and the goaltending situation is not. I'm not worried about that right now. We have Fuller, Tobash is fine. Montebo, they're going to slip him out with Dach, with Gallagher maybe. They will maybe keep Gallagher because they will need maybe experience, and they will set for 1 year because they get lining money out of the picture anyway. The increasing of the salary cap is there, but that's what I'm thinking about this. They still have asset to trade, so they have asset
they can make
picks, Angstrom, and everybody else. So again,
they can make lots of things happen, Coach. They have the assets, they have the prospects, the picks. There's definitely going to be something brewing big this summer for Montreal. Absolutely.
I agree with you. For some reason, I don't seem to be able to see any of your comments. Tony, if you don't see over your comments, check you, Tony.
Block.
You maybe block him or something sometime. That's happening there. And look, I'm always agree with you. It's just I don't want to admit it. So I just want to I just want to tell you that I don't want to give you too much hope about that one. But look, we agree on that one for sure. I like great comments in the chat, guys. The Caps going up, everything like that. N26, Larry Lavallée, a great pairing defenseman, is critical, everything like that for sure. Joey, welcome, 1993. Rebecca need to put on the weight, Pete. No, a lot of great comments, guys. It's not that we have I don't want to hold you too much, but I want to give you one more here. I don't want to get that one with that. Your prediction for tomorrow, Detroit, Montreal.
Again, it's a 4-point game. I think Montreal has to go hard here. I'm going to take Montreal to win this game by a score of 5-2.
Montreal?
Montreal to win.
Wow. I go with a W tomorrow. About that one for sure, Mr. Tap. I think Montreal can get there, but it's not going to be easy. But that will help in the Montreal Canadiens understanding, guys. They will fix what they lose this weekend. They can't get that there because after that, next week, guys, we have Carolina, we have the New York Islanders, and Tampa Bay is coming, and then it's another. The good news, we play at home. So hopefully they can get those kind of W. And that will be huge W tomorrow night for Montreal. Sanderman said 5-2 Montreal tomorrow. Hopefully,
it'll be close, Coach. I think it'll be. Hey, Brownie.
She's quiet.
I think it'll be 3-2, and then all of a sudden Detroit has to take chances, right? And that's where I think Montreal will score a couple, maybe even empty net goals to make it 5-2. But I'm going to take Montreal 5-2.
Yeah, not a bad goal about that. Barely big for 5-2, and many people think about that. Now, Brownie, she was quiet on my feet for all day, all the morning. She was sick yesterday.
She heard you talk about Jack Eye the way you did and woke up.
No, she's like, she was sick yesterday. Now she's better today. She's more active. Like, we wake up at 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, so it's not like she get bigger too. So now she lay down on the couch beside my office, and she sleep a lot. But, she's getting there. She's getting better and better. Mr. Tap, before you leave, we would like to take a couple of seconds here to wish the best for Mark Elliott. Huge surgery Friday night, and Friday during the day. And we wish the best for Mark Elliott, and hopefully he will recover and come back here better, stronger, healthier. We wish this for all of the people here in the chat, by the way. But just don't forget, guys, to pray for Mark Elliott the next couple of days. Top for Mark Elliott, and the Hockey Nation support Mark Elliott. He's been a great contributor inside of this channel for many months and years now, and that helped a lot the channel here. So I just want to mention that. Same thing for the mom of Luciano. We don't see Luciano now for over 2 weeks, and we wish the best for his mom, the wife of Roger Bouchard. Get a surgery, I believe, tomorrow, the next couple of days. So the same thing. Jose Duarte also, and many others, guys. We just want to sharing those thoughts about those people. But Mr. Natal, was a pleasure to see around with me tonight on the special exhibition night of the Montreal Canadiens. I can wait to see you next time. But Yeah, we talk about a lot of things. We could talk more about that. We're going to push the clash a little bit later, the next time. But only one question for the clash, Mr. Tap. He's not there, but I would tell you. It would be easy to say. Well, it's not be easy, but the question would be more fun to say Montreal get one of the points. But I will ask you more question this way. Do you think the Montreal Canadiens are going to make the playoff or not?
You just want to get me on record, don't you? Look, Coach, the probability that they make the playoffs is very, very good. That's all I'm going to say. My only beef was at trade deadline time, management knew that they needed a big help on defense. They did not address it. If they miss the playoffs, that's your reason why.
So, are they going to make the playoff or not?
Yes, they'll make the playoffs. But if they don't,
they're going to make the playoffs. That's one I want to hear that. I just want to hear that.
Yes.
I don't want to make any excuse.
No, there is.
If you're going to make the playoff. So, we're going to make a playoff, Mr. Tap. Some people said 4-3. And some people 6-5, and some people said good night, Mr. Tap. All right, Mr. Tap, we wish you an amazing great night. We wish you an amazing rest of your week. And I can't wait to see you and tomorrow night in the chat talking about the Montreal Canadiens. And it was always a pleasure to see you. And we're getting there, Mr. Tap. Fantasy playoff is coming very soon.
Next week.
Yeah, you never know. This is you're not in control. Everything could happen. Like
if you have players that your team their teams don't play more than 2 or 3 games next week, you're in big trouble.
Or one injury, like someone lose Leo Trossardo.
Oh, yeah, that was run. That's okay.
Oh,
I had offered to make a trade with him for Draisaitl way back when. He refused. He's gonna regret that.
But you can remember, you'll be hurt if you have Trossardo today.
I know. That's why.
But no credit because the lack of experience or willing to give you Celebrity.
Yeah, but did you see what I gave him in return?
By Villardi.
I gave and Stone.
So both of them are there. Stone is sit for until he sit.
Yeah, but look at his average points per game. He's one of the highest ones.
All right. Wish you an amazing good night, Mr. Tap. I will talk to you soon.
Good night, everyone. Good night, Coach.
It was In Our Tap, guys, in that chat tonight. It's always fun to walk with In Our Tap. But it's always fun for all of you to see In Our Tap with us. What a great man. What a great human being, Mr. Tap. That's how we got for you guys tonight. Hopefully you enjoy it. Don't forget to click on the like before you leave the building. Tomorrow night, Troy, I'm going to do a couple of basketball game. The madness. If you like basketball, you can watch it with me. And I can't wait to wish you an amazing, great night. Be well, be healthy. Find a way not only dominate your day, but find a way to dominate the first half of what? Someone said 2026, and the only reason we get better than Hashem with the 11,942 sub is because you are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you. That's it. Thanks so much, all the moderators tonight. Runway King, Susanna from Japan, and Luc Lafortune from Mont-Laurier, and RJ Calabro News and Update, and all the people in the chat. The key of this channel is not about me, it's about all of you. More people talk, more people exchange, more people knowledge about hockey. Help the channel to be better and the people to come back with all the knowledge about game. Until then, my friend, we wish you an amazing, great night. I can't wait to see you. P.S. Knock the door at the last minute. Barry from Alberta and Larry Lavalley. We wish you an amazing, great night. Always a pleasure to sharing with Pete Martin and N26 Antoine tonight. PLW, always the words are the reason behind everything. PLW, good luck for your bet with Seneca tonight. And The Flyers lead 1-0 again. The Ducks. Luke Glendening scored his first goal of the season. Until then, Pete Martin, you got it with Ovidio. Good night, buddy. Booyah!